Hey, you guys, it's Matt Frazier, the Psychic Medium, and I am live with you right now. And I am so excited because I just got back from touring, taking some weeks off. And in the meantime, I want to talk to you about signs that you may be a psychic medium. Because I can't tell you how many readings that I do where I'll see that many of you have the same ability that I do. And that is that you can sense things, you can feel things, you can have conversations with your loved ones in spirit, and you too can receive information from the afterlife. You know, it's true that we all have an ability. We all have a way to connect with the other side, to speak to the other side, to talk to the other side. But what very few people know is that some of you have a stronger connection than others, right? It's almost like singing, right? Like, for example, anyone can learn to sing, but some of us are born naturally with that gift. And, you know, when you're born naturally with it, it just comes naturally. And more importantly, you're always at kind of like a higher level, right? But what I want you to know is this is that you may have had an ability that you have been running away from for years and years. I've seen it happen many times. So many times people have come to me telling me that they've had anxiety, that they've just been super anxious, that they've just been a very worried person, that for some reason they get all stressed out about other people. And when I tune in, what I'm seeing is different things. I'm seeing that they're getting stressed out in large crowds. They're getting stressed out around people that, are negative. They're getting stressed out over situations that aren't there. And I've noticed one thing. I've noticed that people who are mediums are really highly sensitive people. And that's the reason why I wanted to come on and to make this video and to talk to you guys about it. Because first of all, I want to share with you the signs that you might be a medium and talk about what that means if you can relate to some of these signs. And first of all, I want to say hello to some of you who are here. I see Ruth is here. I also see that Tony Butler is here. And I also see that Danny is here. Yes, we're going to be talking about empaths as well. I also see Cassandra is here. Hey, Cassandra. And I see Eva is here as well. And I see Melissa is here. I also see CGB is here. And I see all you guys here on Instagram as well. Boss Girl Living is here on Instagram. And I also see that Joyce was looking at Royce today. Thank you so much. And guys, what I want you to know is this, is that really important. Before we get into today's topic, I am here for the next few weeks spending time with my family. And what I want you to know is that in between time, while I'm here at the office, I'm going to be doing some online readings. So for those of you who haven't been able to get a reading with me, because maybe I don't come to your city, or my tour has already come to your city, or whatever it may be, what I want you to know is that I added some online readings for this summer. So June 8th and June 9th, I'm going to be giving readings live online. You can get tickets on my website, meetmattfrazier.com. But June 8th is almost sold out, you guys. So if you want to reserve your spot, you're going to go right here. Where the hell is it? Right? Where's it? You guys see it on your screen? Right here, meetmattfrazier.com. That's where you guys can go to reserve your spot. And what I also want you to know as well is that when I get back on the road, the first stop that I'm coming is Los Angeles, you guys. Everyone's been saying, Matt, when are you coming to LA? When are you coming to LA? Well, I will be at the, wait a minute, I gotta remember what it is. The United Theater on Broadway, okay, in Los Angeles. I believe the date's at the end of June, right? Is that correct? Yes, end of June. So I'm coming to Los Angeles. I'm coming to Snoqualmie, Washington. I'm also coming to Talking Stick, you guys, in Arizona. And I'm coming to, get ready, Las Vegas in October. I'm doing 2 special events at the Venetian. So I know a lot of you guys have been saying, Matt, you're always on the East Coast. Why are you never on the West Coast? Well, I want you guys to know I'm coming to the West Coast, and I'm coming to Los Angeles just for you guys. I'm coming to Scottsdale, Arizona just for you guys. I'm coming to Las Vegas just for you guys. So plan your trips, come and see me, because it's going to be a night of psychic readings where you guys get to meet me. I get to meet you, and I get to channel your loved ones in spirit. So that being said, I just got back from Canada, but I couldn't forget about all of you. So meetmattfrazier.com to join me in LA, Arizona, Washington, and Las Vegas. And also for those of you in Massachusetts or Rhode Island, Springfield, Massachusetts, that's going to be my next tour stop in Massachusetts. It is almost sold out, you guys. There's a handful of seats left. So don't let that stop you from buying, because I know some of you guys were like, Matt, I want to come and see you in Springfield, Massachusetts, but the only seats are in the back. Believe me when I tell you, I'm all over that room. I don't care if you're sitting way in the front or way in the back. If there's a message from your loved one, I will find you. But you're going to make sure that you're there. So meetmattfrazier.com, meetmattfrazier.com. This is where you can go. Just click on tour dates or click on online readings to join me. I can't wait to see you guys. All right, let's talk about this. Signs that you're a medium. So first of all, this is what happened with me. And I want to share my story before I get into explaining this, because I think that some of you may relate to some of the things that I went through when I was a little kid, because I actually had to figure out that I was a psychic medium. I had to figure out that this was an actual ability. So I grew up seeing and hearing dead people, like that little boy from The Sixth Sense. I remember that whenever I was alone, whenever I was by myself, I would hear my name being called. I would literally be in my playroom downstairs in the basement. I would hear, Matthew, Matthew. I'd go running upstairs and literally my mom would be sleeping. No one else would be in the house. And I'd be like, who the hell called my name? And it would happen at random times. It happened, like, for example, if I was at school, and I was in the play yard at the far ends of the play yard by myself where no one else was there, I'd hear my name being called. And then other things would start to happen, you guys. I would have these dreams of people who had died that would come to me, that would try to speak messages to me. When I would go to sleep, I would feel a presence in my bedroom at night. Might be the presence of an old man, might be the presence of a young woman. It might be multiple presences that were there. Sometimes I would go to bed and I would hear whispers. It would sound like there were people talking in my room. And the whispers would be like, and oh my God, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it, because this used to freak me out. So I did what any other kid would do. I yelled and I screamed and I yelled for my mom. And I remember crying at night, being so fearful to go to bed, because I knew that that was a time when the souls would try to reach me. And I was in such fear of going to bed that I used to make my mom actually lay with me on the side of me before I went to bed every night, because I would hear the souls in my bedroom. Well, what I want you to know is that for years, I had pushed this away. For years, I did a really good job of making the voices stop. I did a really good job of just being normal. I did a really good job of not paying attention to the souls that were there. So eventually, after ignoring them, pushing them away, blocking them, anytime I'd hear my name being called, anytime I'd hear a whisper, anytime a soul would try to reach me, I would run where people were. I would go and get my mom. I would do everything that I could to avoid it. And eventually, what was so amazing is that the dead just stopped contacting me. I wouldn't hear from them. Now, once in a while, I would see and sense a soul. For example, if I went to a different place, but they weren't actively seeking me out. But this is what really sealed the deal with me. This is where I got lost. And I want to share this with all of you. Because even though I could make the soul stop talking, even though I could make the soul stop, communicating with me and reaching me out and seeking me out, I realized one thing. I realized that I could sense and feel people on a different level. I could feel people's pain. I could feel people's energy. I could feel people's emotions. I remember being a little kid and literally sitting in a restaurant with my mom and looking across and seeing a person sitting all alone eating dinner by themselves and being so upset. Because at that moment, I was like, oh my God, that person is so lonely. I could feel their emotions. I could feel what they went through, right? I remember that when I was a little kid, and don't laugh at this, right? But I would not like somebody for no reason whatsoever, right? I would be with them and I'd be on the side with them. And I used to tell my mom, like, Mommy, I don't like that person. Mommy, I don't like that person. Only to find out that that person was somebody that was not trustworthy. That person was somebody that was extremely negative and somebody that was going to, bring pain in some type of way to my family, right? I knew it. And what's also interesting is that I could feel things that I wasn't supposed to feel as a little kid. I could feel, tension that would go on between my mom and my dad. I could feel tension that was going on between other family members. I could feel things that were going on in the classroom, at school. Key word is feeling. So I'm telling you this story for a reason. Because when I'm doing readings, there's many times that your loved ones in spirit will show me that you have a gift. But the thing is that psychic ability and intuitive ability, mediumship ability, oftentimes will disguise itself and hide itself as worries, anxieties, and fears, right? Why is that? Well, if you're a medium, and thank you so much, Linda. Linda saw me and Peter Burrows, because you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming. Oh my God, I see Shamir is coming to the online reading on Friday. I can't wait to meet you. I'm so excited that you're coming. So what I want you to know is this, is that what I've learned as a medium is that if you're a highly sensitive person, if you consider yourself to be an empath, or if you feel people on a different level, if you feel animals on a different level, right? Maybe you can stand next to someone and tell if that person's a good person, if they're a bad person, if they're lying or they're telling the truth. Maybe it is that when you meet somebody who's pregnant, you can tell instantly if they're having a boy or a girl. Maybe it is you find yourself in situations where you're sitting next to somebody and all of a sudden you just pick up on their energy. For example, you could be sitting next to somebody at the doctor's office and know right at that moment that they're there because of a sickness or they're there just for a routine checkup. You just know things. Well, what I want you to know is that the reason why psychic ability hides itself in people that are anxious, worried, have anxiety, are empaths, is because of that reason, because you're feeling things on a higher level. The thing is that you'll notice that many mediums, when they give readings, they talk about their feelings. You'll hear them say during readings, I feel like you have a grandmother stepping forward. I feel a mother figure. I feel a father figure. I feel a strong love. Keyword is feel. And if you're somebody who's tapped into that, if you're highly sensitive, right, then that means that you're picking up on spirit. And I've noticed that a lot of people, Morton says, that's me. She says, that's me. Then she went on to say, what did you say on the air? Hold on. I just lost that comment. She went on to say, that's me. I think she said I'm miserable. No, you don't have to be miserable about that. You guys crack me up with the comments. What I want you to know is this, is that when it comes to the other side, when it comes to speaking to spirit, right? The thing is that a lot of times people will have anxieties and worries, and they won't be sure where it's coming from. They'll think their worries, anxieties, and fears are coming from the stress of their job, the stress of their relationship, the stress of their life. And listen, that might be part of it. But when you're a medium, you're picking up on things at a different level. For example, I get anxiety, you guys, when I'm out in a crowd. I don't mean a crowd at my show. I'm talking about when I'm in a crowded city, like New York City, like Disney World. Oh, I hate going to Disney World. I hate it. And you know what? I feel like my wife is going to put me on the cross when I say that. But the thing is that I love Disney. I love the rides. I like the snacks. I like the characters. I like what it stands for, right? I don't like being around all those people. When I walk into the park and all those, and you're like wall to wall people, I'm like, oh my God. Like I felt good when they had the 6 feet apart because I'm just really sensitive. So when I'm in a large crowd, it's like all that energy comes to me all at once, right? I'm feeling what that person over there is doing. I'm feeling the energy of this person over here, that person over there. That's just what it's like. So, when I was younger, I actually almost didn't be a psychic medium because I almost completely missed out on my gift. I always thought that I had to do something in the medical field because I felt people on such a deeper level. Actually, at one point, I was even thinking about doing something with pets. When I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I could feel pets on a different level as well. I felt like the pets would speak to me when I would connect with them. I would just hear their thoughts and hear what they were feeling and know what they felt on the inside. All of these things that other people couldn't. But what I want you to know is this, is that here's where it gets really hard. Where mediumship gets really hard is knowing what is actually your psychic thoughts and what is your anxious thoughts, right? Because the thing is that your psychic thoughts and your anxious thoughts all run on the same level. So there's two things that happen, right? You have good thoughts that are coming to you every day. You have everyday thoughts that are coming to you every day. And then you have your psychic thoughts that are coming to you every day. So the thing is that sometimes it's really hard because you might get worries, anxieties, and fears that trigger, like, oh my God, I shouldn't trust this person because this person screwed me over. I shouldn't trust this person because of X, Y, and Z. And you might see red flags with somebody and you might wonder, wait a minute, is this my psychic ability talking or is this my anxiety talking? Or maybe you're worried about something and you see something. And that thing that you see, right? And Teresa's like me, she says, I cringe in front of crowds. It's true. When I see crowds, I do the same thing. It's like, I hate going to concerts. I hate doing any of that. But what's actually funny is that I don't get anxiety at my own shows because I feel like I get to unleash the beast, right? I feel like when I'm in a crowd, there's like dead people, living people, there's all this energy, and I can't say or do anything about it without causing a scene. But when I'm at my own shows, it just flies. It's all good. So what I want you to know is that it's really hard to decipher what your psychic thoughts and what your everyday thoughts, because you only have one brain. You don't have two brains, right? And because we're human everything gets processed in our brain. So when you're a medium, it really can be tough living life because you're getting two separate signals. You're getting signals from your body, which is telling you, I'm hungry, I need to eat, trust this person, that person's hot, that person is a person that I like, that person is cool, right? And then you have another signal that you're receiving, and that's from your angels and your loved ones and your spirit guides. So your loved ones and your spirits and your loved ones, angels and spirit guides are using that same antenna to transmit to you, right? It's almost like when you get too many notifications on your phone. You're like, what one do I read? What one do I trust? It's like when you have two different news sources telling you two different things. Well, that's what's happening when you're a medium. And that's where the anxieties and the worries and the fears come from. It's like sometimes when you go back and forth with yourself, right? And you're like, oh my God, do I trust that person? Okay, I'm feeling to trust that person, but is that my ability talking? Is that my inner niceness talking? Is that my heart talking? Am I being screwed over? Am I being naive, right? When you're questioning yourself, all these things, that's your ability. It means that you're getting cross signals, right? And you gotta go and you have to sort it out. But it goes far deeper than that. The thing about mediumship is that it comes to you all in different ways. You could get dreams that happen. You might just have these really terrible dreams that just come true all the time. You might keep getting bad information that comes through all the time. Maybe all of a sudden you get night terrors, right? You dream something bad about someone and the next thing you know it happens. Or all of a sudden it might be that you get premonitions of things that you can't control. For example, you might see something and warn someone about it, but every time you warn them, it just happens, right? It also could be that, here in life, you sense things and you feel things here in this world, but at the same time, you don't know what the signs or the symbols or the messages are until afterwards. For example, you might see something, not be able to interpret what the other side is showing you until after it happens. But what I want you to know, and I see all you guys responding to that, Dawn says it's the dreams for her, and Lauren says, how do we know the difference between it's just your mind or spirit? Well, this is a really good question, and listen, it's hard to go and to tell you about it, right? I can't just go and answer that in 5 minutes, because the thing is that I've had to learn my whole life about this. I've had to learn this one thing, that souls communicate in a totally different way. When I'm communicating with your loved ones, they don't come through and say, hey, Matt, I'm that girl's mother over there. Can you tell her that I'm okay? Can you tell her that I'm fine? Can you tell her that, my passing was rough, but, I'm at peace now? I might speak those messages to you, but how I receive them is in a different way, because your loved ones are translators. They have to translate the messages from their side, from the afterlife, here into the physical world. So what I want you to know is this, is that mediumship is a language. It's a language between you, your angels, your loved ones, and your spirit guides. And once you learn about how to separate your psychic thoughts and your own thoughts, once you learn how to dive deep into mediumship and reconnect that ability, you learn how to receive messages on your own. There's a process that you go through. So that being said, what I want you to know is this, is that so many of you have reached out to me, and I wasn't going to do it at first. And then I'm like, you know what? I just felt the calling. I felt my angels and loved ones and spirit guides tell me, Matt, it's time. Because I didn't know if I wanted to write a book on this or what I wanted to do. But I decided for the first time ever, I'm going to do a mediumship masterclass where I'm going to be teaching you guys how to go and channel the way that I do, how to connect with the spirits, how to fine tune your abilities, how to know what your anxiety, what your anxious thoughts, what your psychic thoughts, how to do a reading, how to really tune into the other side, how to really hear those messages from spirit, and more importantly, how to learn the language between the living and the dead. So that being said, if you would like to learn from me, I'm going to be taking on some students, and I'm doing a one-time class, you guys. So that being said, if you head to my website, let me show you. If you head to my website, meetmattfrazier.com, I am doing a one-time class where I'm going to be teaching you guys. I've never done a class like this before. This is going to be my first ever. On June 4th, it's called Mastering. Can you guys see that? Probably not. It's saying Mastering Mediumship with Matt Frazier. So what I want you guys to know is that if you go to online meetings, if you go to meetmattfrazier.com right now, meetmattfrazier.com, and you click on online readings, once you're there, you'll see Mastering Mediumship webinar. This is a 90-minute webinar where I'm going to be diving in deep and teaching you all of my secrets. So if you want to join me, you've got to make sure that you're registered. It's a live webinar where you guys are going to be live with me. You're going to be able to ask me questions. We're going to be channeling in real time. And more importantly, really important actually, If you miss this webinar, as long as you're signed up, you will not miss it. So what I mean by that is that let's say that June 4th happens and something happens. You get stuck in traffic, you oversleep, you have to bring your daughter to school because her dad gets sick, whatever happens, right? Life comes your way. What I want you to know is that during this, the minute that you sign up for this webinar, okay, even if you miss it, even if you don't attend, it doesn't matter. I am going to send you the video afterwards because I want you to have access to this information and you can watch it whenever, wherever you want. So June 4th, for those of you who are serious, I am taking students right now. June 4th, it's my Master Mediumship webinar, and I really want to teach you everything that these souls have taught me. So it's supposed to be 90 minutes. I usually go over. It's probably going to be 2 hours, not going to lie. So make sure that you have enough time for me. But if you want to join me, it's the first time I'm ever doing something like this. It's going to be me and you guys, and I'm going to be teaching you all about heaven, the afterlife, and the language between the living and the dead. So if you want to join me, just go to meetmattfrazier.com, meetmattfrazier.com, and click on online readings. That's where you're going to find it. So go to meetmattfrazier.com, click on online readings, and then you'll see Master Mediumship webinar. That's where you're going to go to sign up. But I only have a limited amount of spots. So if you'd like to be my student and you'd like to join me, it's open right now. I see Love Marie says, oh, yes, I'm so excited. I see Trisha says, you're awesome. Well, listen, I'm so excited about this because I know that you have an ability. And what's really sad is I see so many people come to me, have abilities, but don't have the confidence or know how to use it. Well, I'm here to teach you. So I hope that you'll join me on June 4th. And in the meantime, if it's not right for you, if hearing from the departed, if learning how to connect to the other side is not something that you're interested in, if you just want to join me for an online reading, I have June 8th and June 9th available as well. And then I'm heading to Los Angeles, you guys. So for those of you who are here, all right, I have a couple weeks off on tour. I'm going to be doing this online mediumship, course. Then I'm heading to Los Angeles, Washington, Las Vegas. I'm also coming to Arizona as well. All the new tour stops are up on my website, meetmattfrazier.com. And yes, Karen, I'm coming. Corinne, I think it is. I'm coming to Rochester, New York as well. I can't wait to see you as well. And yes, listen, this is what's so cool. So Laura says, I used to see spirits as a child. Well, if you used to feel like you had psychic ability, or maybe you saw spirit, or maybe you connected with the other side, even if you don't feel like you have that connection anymore, I promise you that you do. So head on over to meetmattfrazier.com, click on online meetings, and I will see you guys live online June 4th. And as long as you're registered, there's no way you will miss this webinar because whether you're there or whether you miss it, within 12 hours, you're going to get the recording sent straight to your email address. So I'm really excited about this, and you guys get to keep it forever. So the sad part is that you have to be signed up to receive that recording. So you know, the sad part is that sometimes what happens is that people will go and they won't sign up and they'll be like, Matt, I forgot to sign up. Can I sign up now? And I'm like, no, it already happened live. They're like, but I'll buy the recording. No, it's just for the students because it's an in the moment type of thing. So meetmattfrazier.com, click on June 4th. I can't wait to see you guys. And in the meantime, trust in the signs that you're receiving because I'm not the only one that is receiving these messages. I'm not the only one that's gifted. You are too. And I know that your angels, loved ones, and spirit guides are trying to reach you also in their own special way. So I love you. I'll see you soon. And don't forget, all right, June 4th, meetmattfrazier.com. Make sure you have your spot reserved one night only. I'll see you then.